All right, so the Dallas Cowboys were embarrassed on primetime television. And the game, as I'm recording this video, as I'm talking right now, the game isn't even over. There's 13 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter of this game. The Lions are killing Dallas by the score of 47-9. And it might get worse because there's still plenty of time left in this football game. There's a whole quarter of football left. And Dallas has 9 points. And I know that a lot of people will say it's out of Dak Prescott's control. And, the offense might not have executed properly and showed up like they should have today. But their defense was fucking cream puff. It was awful. I mean, their pass D was terrible. There were players open left, right, and fucking center. No run defense to be found whatsoever. Just poor play all around defensively. They couldn't defend anything this game. They looked lost on the field. And that leads me to the offense, because we know the defense looked clueless on the field. We know that they didn't hold their end of the bargain up. But offensively, they were inept. Dak has been fucking horrible. And, the line hasn't been the greatest. There's been a lot of pressure. But Dak has got to overcome that. He didn't in this game. He played like shit. He played like a bum in this game. And I'm severely calling into question whether or not the Dallas Cowboys will ever make a conference title game with Dak Prescott at quarterback. And with this defense, you're not going to make the playoffs. Because when you look at the games so far that they've played in, they've allowed 44 points to the Saints, 28 points to the Ravens, and they allowed, what was it? I know they allowed 17 points to Pittsburgh, which might as well be fucking 37. But when they face good offenses that know what they're doing, like the Lions and like the Saints, who can put up points, and the Ravens, they're just really not a good team. And that's the type of team, the Lions are the type of team that the Cowboys are going to go up against if they make the playoffs. So this team won't make the playoffs because looking at their schedule, they have hard games. Their next game is against San Francisco. They're going to get destroyed in that game. The Falcons will half of these games are going to be losses because you're facing all these top offenses in the NFL, these high-powered offenses with elite quarterbacks like Brock Purdy and C.J. Stroud. And I think Dallas plays the Bengals and Joe Burrow. And, Kirk Cousins, who's been playing some solid football. Jane Daniels. Baker Mayfield. You're playing some top 15 quarterbacks. It's not like they're going to throw 3 picks and give you the game. So defensively, they're fucked. They're inept. And on offense, it's the same story. They're fucked and they're completely and totally inept. They can't move the ball. They have no run game. Ezekiel Elliott sucks. He gets like 10 carries a game. He gets 12 yards. He's horrible. He needs to be cut. You wasted money on signing Zeke back. He is old and he's way too washed up to be playing on any NFL team. It's time for the guy to retire. He had a couple good years in the NFL, but he's not cut out for the National Football League anymore. Rico Dowdle really doesn't have much pep to his step. He's okay, but he's not going to be a starting caliber back. And I think they had Deuce Vaughn, but that guy is a dwarf, and he really just brings nothing new to the table when it comes to the run game. So I expect him to be cut by next year, unless they cut him already. I don't know, because the guy is not an NFL player. He's too short. I know there's what about Darren Sproles and all those other fucking short fucking guys who made, successful careers in the NFL. Those are the outliers for short players. And Deuce Vaughn is not nearly talented enough to be a guy like a Darren Sproles at running back in the NFL. It's as simple as that. But as I am talking right now, they have benched Dak Prescott. They've got Cooper Rush in the game. That is a testament to how over that this season may be for the Cowboys. And who knows, maybe the next 4 games they win 4 in a row and they score 36 a game. But that's not going to happen. Their offense is inept. When they're facing a good defense, they look fucking lost. They're dropping to 3-3. They're not in a good situation. They play a lot of really good teams coming up on their schedule. Their next 5 games are against the Niners, Falcons, Eagles, Texans, and Commanders. Maybe they'll win 2 of those games. Maybe they'll find a way to beat the Falcons, and maybe they'll find a way to beat the Commanders. I don't know if they're going to beat the Eagles because the Eagles' defense is pretty solid. But Eagles need to figure it out defensively. But, the Cowboys are one of the worst defenses in the NFL when it comes to just playing defense in general. So I don't know if Jalen Hurts and company will have any trouble running all over that fucking defense. I think that it'll be a breeze. I think they'll probably destroy Dallas. And the fact is, Dallas is going to have to score at least 30 points a game if they want to win 8 games this year. Because I'm seriously starting to think that they're not going to win 6 games if their defense plays this bad against the top opponents in the NFL. Their pass defense was atrocious. And shout out to Jared Goff, by the way. The guy's playing like a fucking MVP. The guy's playing like a stud. The past 2 weeks, he's been amazing. Lighting up these defenses, just throwing it all over the field, reading coverages, playing how a quarterback should play. And then you have Dak Prescott, who one game he throws for 350 yards with 3 touchdowns and 1 pick and plays really well and has a QBR of like 85 something and a pass rating of like 120.3. Looks really good in victories, against mediocre, 6, 7, 8, 9-win teams that aren't going to make the playoffs. And then he faces a Super Bowl contender like Detroit, and he looks like a scrub. That is a problem. He's been like this for years and years and fucking years now, and I'm afraid this is just who Dak Prescott is as a quarterback. He is a guy who is unreliable in the clutch, unreliable when you need him to win a big game, unreliable in the big moments. And when you have a quarterback that's not reliable in the clutch and is terrible in the big moments and can't step up to the occasion to beat a really good, Super Bowl caliber team, how are you ever going to make a conference title game, make a Super Bowl, let alone win a Super Bowl championship? Dallas, with Dak Prescott at quarterback and with this defense, will not hoist up a Lombardi trophy. It's as simple as that. It's an easy take to say right now because they're getting smoked by Detroit. And Detroit, as good as a team as they are, I don't know if they're definitely a contender for the Super Bowl, but I don't know if they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. Maybe they can if they replicate the magic of their last run, because they looked really good in their last run in the playoffs. They probably should have blown out the 49ers, but they blew the lead and fucked up, and they had them on the ropes. I really believe that they would have beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl because there was just something special about the playoff run they were going on. But back to Dallas, man, it's looking really bad, and Dallas fans, they're going to call for the head of Dak Prescott, and I'll tell you what, it's also very bad coaching. Whoever the fuck the defensive coordinator is for the Cowboys, I don't even know, needs to be fired. And Mike McCarthy, you need to go. You just really have never been a good head coach. I don't know what qualifications he had for that job to begin with. He has always been an awful fucking coach for this Cowboys team. Will never lead them to any sort of sustained period of success. The McCarthy era is going to end very, very soon. This will be the final year of Mike McCarthy coaching, and you paid Dak Prescott all that money, he's not going to win you a Super Bowl. You don't pay a quarterback Super Bowl champion money if he hasn't even made the championship game. What is the point? He hasn't even made the conference title game, and you're paying him like he just came off back-to-back Super Bowl appearances and back-to-back Super Bowl wins. You paid him like Mahomes, yet in big games, he plays like fucking Heath Schuler. So, I don't even know what to say anymore, man. Dallas is fucked. They're really on a bad trajectory right now, and it's really not looking good for them. Thank you all for watching. This has been Mr. Truth, and this was nothing but the truth.